Hey everyone, here we have a bunch of culverts we're going to go look at. The water looks super deep, but it's really not. It's just super dirty because it's pouring out a lot of rain. I'm entering very slowly because it's getting deeper. But I want to be able to show this part inside. Where I am right now, you see it's concrete. That's because they made the road wider. The other end there is concrete too, but you see the center, how it's bricks? That's back when they had a 2-lane road. But now it's a 4-lane road, so they added another lane on that end and another lane here. That brick is original. The water is like super deep in here. That's coming from the storm drain. That right here. But I think there's another culvert right here. To the right, a small stream. Yeah, there's a culvert here. It's not too much. It's a tiny little thing. This one's nice. Oh, look at this. Looks like we have some damage to the entrance because you see the water's coming in at an angle and it's just destroying it. Look at that. Whoa. Got deeper here because it's eroding. That damage isn't too bad. It looks like they may know about it because they put some stuff in there. Yeah, the ground is unstable here because the bottom of the culvert is non-existent. It's washed away. Yeah, look at this. Does that look like they know about it? To me, I think they did have to hold it up. This water is so deep right here on the end. That's why the damage happened. The water's hitting that part of it. This tree may have a lot to do with breaking the concrete. That culvert here, they don't even have to replace it. They just have to remove the like 10 feet that are damaged. There's enough room there to not even have to dig up the rest. There might be another culvert up here. A few hundred feet down the river are these two sewers, and you can see it's just completely destroyed. You see bricks that have fallen out of it because the river gets really high occasionally, and it just destroyed this. Right now I can smell it. The methane gas is coming out of that thing, and it's horrible. This whole area smells like human waste. Anyways, right here, there's probably another culvert up here, because I see all this water. Now, when I'm done, I'm going to put my boots into a garbage bag so I can disinfect them. Where I'm walking right here smells absolutely disgusting. It smells like a sewage treatment plant. Just take a look at this. You see that nasty slime growing? This is sewage water, wherever this is coming from. It's mixed with tons and tons of sewage. Just look at the erosion on the sides of this. You can tell that the water rages here occasionally. In this small gully I'm walking in, if you want to call it that, it smells like a porta potty on a hot day. I can just imagine being right here on a hot day. Right now it's just below freezing, and the smell is terrible. You know what? It can't be that, but look at that. That's a deer. What is this? An auger? No, actually, this looks like the part of a giant snowblower that you'd put on the front of a tractor. This smells. Look at this. See, it's like that gross looking sludge. Got some kind of boiler there. Old. This is probably just from a hunter dumping the carcass. Or they might have found it dead in the park right here, and they just discarded it here. You can tell by the small chew marks. Animals like squirrels have been chewing away the bone for calcium. Or maybe somebody threw it off the road into this ditch and the water placed it there, because I see hair everywhere. A lot of these metal artifacts. Here's something else. I'm even trying to walk slowly because I don't want to splash this on me. I might have to leave because this is becoming dense with pricker bushes. but I want to figure out where this originates from. I don't even think this is a river. This might be a sewer discharge. And this is disgusting that they're discharging this. This is where it's coming from. And that pipe looks very rotten as far as it's in decay, it's falling apart. After looking at the area, you know what I think is happening? There's a neighborhood right here. And judging by the amount of water there, this is a storm drain runoff. All this water is coming from storm drains. If I had to guess, there's a sewer line like crossing with this that's broken underground, causing sewage to leak into it. So, for example, I have walked inside of culverts before. Occasionally, you'll see a sewer line, a gas line, maybe a water main that cuts through it because there wasn't enough room. And I think one of them broken's leaking into this. This is a small bridge inside of the park that this polluted river is running through. There's another culvert right here under this street. Gonna go check that one out. Here's a pond. Don't really understand what's going on here with these small bridges. To me, it looks like the water was allowed to pass underneath it at one point, but now it's just so overgrown. The water doesn't have anywhere to drain, like they have to re-dig under the bridges. There's not really a good way to get down to this culvert, so I gotta just cut through all this brush. It's not too bad. Usually pricker bushes grow around these, but I got lucky. No pricker bushes here. So this is a gigantic corrugated metal culvert. This one is galvanized and in great shape, it looks like. This one is massive. Walking very carefully in here. The current is strong. We just had a lot of rain today. Usually it would not be filled this much. There's not a lot in here. It's not even a foot deep. Spoke too soon. It's getting deep now. But it's okay. It's slowing down as it gets deeper. It looks like there's like a metal strip going across it, intentional to slow the water down. On this end here, they have like a metal lip there. I guess that doesn't matter on a metal culvert. They can't put a lip on a concrete one because the constant water falling would destroy it. I've seen in certain drain pipes, if they have a storm drain dumping a waterfall into a culvert, eventually it would cause a hole, and when it gets to the rebar, the whole thing's going to fail. I've actually seen them put a big piece of granite underneath it for the water to fall on. This right here is what you would call a drowning hazard. You see how the water is going down? It goes down and it throws back up like this. If you fell into that, depending on how deep it is, I don't know, it's probably over my head there. Chances are I'd be able to get out of it, but if this water was like another foot deeper, that would be very powerful. By the looks of the area, it doesn't get too much deeper here. Maybe in the spring after a whole bunch of snow melts. But anyways, that there is a pretty dangerous trap if someone was to fall into that. Let's get a better look at it. Maybe I can get an example. You kind of saw it do a little flip. Anyways, I'm walking on these nuts right here. They're giving me a lot of traction. There's nuts right here. There's nuts right there, and there's another strip. It's like every 3 feet or so. They give great traction. I would say this culvert is maybe 8, maybe 10 feet tall, 12 feet wide. I'm 6 feet, so usually I can judge pretty well. Sometimes I know with the smaller culverts, I overestimate myself a lot. When I walk through a 2-foot culvert, I sometimes say they're 3 feet, but that's only because they're so comfortable. I wonder what that tar is on there for. It doesn't look like there was any rust. Maybe they hit it with something and they knocked the galvanization off. Or maybe there was some kind of graffiti there they were trying to cover up. This right here looks like it would make one of those traps if the water was deeper. That lip there, the reason they have the lip, without that lip there, there's a good chance the river might try to dig beneath it. I'm trying to figure this out. What is here? Oh, wow. what they tried to prevent actually happened. I just put my foot here. There's no bottom. There's no bottom. There is a big hole right here. That has cleared away a little bit of debris blocking this culvert. See it, does this cross the street? Hey, look at this. See this drainage channel? They haven't done maintenance on that in such a long time. You got grass growing in it. But apparently it doesn't matter. Since the road, the way it's shaped, it wouldn't go to it anyways. It goes across the street right here. That's the benefit of not having a drain. It can't clog up and flood. So you create this channel, and you make it a pretty long channel, because at the end of it, unless you throw a bunch of rocks, which there should be, it'll start to cause damage. Now that culvert looks like it comes under the road over here. So there's probably a joint underneath the road. Yeah, there's got to be a joint. That's a pretty good sized pipe. You see that? It's starting to dig underneath the opening of the pipe. That's a 2-foot pipe. But the way it's kind of crushed, can't really fit into it. That's coming out. Right here. Just a ton of marsh. Oh, that's cool. Didn't even notice that. There's a bridge in there. Just found the trail going to that bridge. It looks like this trail maybe started off its life as a trough to drain water. Got this little stream. I wonder where that's originating from. We have another culvert here. This bridge is pretty slippery. Got to nail some roofing shingles onto this, or some kind of treads. Let's go take a look. I can smell the sewage around this bend. This smells terrible. Whoa. I can't really tell. see the bottom of the culvert is actually shiny because when the river is high, it's bringing rocks through it that are like grinding it away. Actually in a good way. It keeps the rust off. It's like being sandblasted by the river. I'm going to go ahead and not show the walls in here. There's a lot of graffiti in here. Giant tree on top of it. That means that's been there a while. But that kind of tree grows pretty fast. That tree is probably no more than 20. That shows you how high the water is capable of getting. About 20 years ago, it looks like there was a landslide. I would estimate this to be about 20 years of growth. You may say those trees don't look to be 20, but a lot of times when there's a landslide, it takes a while for stuff to grow, because when you rip open a hill, the nutritious stuff is just on the top, like the very top crust of the earth. When you get in there a ways, there's not really much. It's really sandy, and it takes a while for that to come back. It looks like they threw this here, so they must have brought trucks in here to stop it from happening again. This park has all kinds of trails like this. This one here begins again on this side, goes up the hill. Trails for people to hike on. And here they actually have to cross the river. And most of them are probably unaware of the polluted situation. Because this river, yeah, it's brownish, but it's also a little bit grayish. And grayish comes from a sewer. Gray water is not from erosion. Here's a nice cobblestone drainage ditch on the side of this. I wonder if they added this just to be decorative, or if the entire road was originally these stones. Here's another 2-foot culvert. By the looks of it and the shape it's in, it was probably put in with the other 2 massive ones. It's in pretty good shape. It's gonna have to be dug out. It's like half filled in because the sludge is slowly going into it, and that sludge, you can tell there's a lot of iron in it. That's pretty much just draining the fields. Right here we have a culvert. Looks to be, this one hasn't been dug out in years. There's a lot of water that wants to come out of that one. That one is completely falling apart. When I just kicked my foot into the end, the metal's all loose, tearing and falling apart. And that pipe appears to be at least 12 inches, and most of it's filled in. Like years ago, this used to be a really deep drainage ditch, and now it's all flattening out. That's from years of neglect. Let's go see where it starts. See exactly how big it is. And I don't see any water entering it. So that means it's all groundwater that's being picked up. Or it's water that was just trapped in the pipe that I just released. Yeah, that looks like a foot. Maybe 18 inches. This water here I know is clean. When I say clean, I mean it doesn't have the sewage. Hope this video was interesting. Thanks for watching.